Hi guys, we have an announcement today.
We do, and I like how you say we. You're so gracious and kind. Yes, I have been praying a lot with my family and with Mandy and with our nextTalk team. And there's something we've always said at nextTalk. We've said if you're not taking care of your family, if your family is struggling, or if you're not in a space where you can take care of your family the way we talk about, then what's the point of all of this? And so there came a moment where I realized, and Mandy and our team, that I needed to step away from nextTalk for a while. And that's really the main announcement, is that I need to pour some more time into my family, into my own health. You know, when you stop exercising because you're like, well, I'm going to finish this first, and you stop putting things in order, it's time to step back. And as hard as it is to do what you say, you know, we've said this for how many years, as hard as it is to make that decision, I know it's the right decision. And God has validated that for me over and over in the last few days. So for this season and for now, I am going to step back for nextTalk.
I'm trying not to cry. Everybody.
Don't. I got all the tears out ahead of time.
There have been some behind the scenes tears. And as we've walked through this and kind of came to the realization that it was what needed to happen and what God was saying. Yeah. And, but I'm not going to lie, it's hard because, you know, for 7 years, Kim has been such a voice on the podcast. And the cool thing is, I know she's not leaving my life, which is cool. I'm still getting the best friend text every day and the encouragement. But I'm sad for you guys. I'm sad for you guys because you've just poured so much wisdom into everything that you've done. And I know even in tough seasons behind the scenes, how faithful you've been to the ministry. But ministry is hard.
It is.
And it takes its toll. I'm so proud of her right now because I think oftentimes in our world, it's just push through.
Yeah.
Push through, do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And we've done that. We've done that for lots of years. But right now, Kim is saying, I don't think that's what God is asking me to do right now.
Yeah, that's not the answer. You know, me trying to fix things, me trying to make it work. That is no longer the answer. And I think one of the greatest joys that I have in stepping back is being able to say, Mandy is an incredible leader who lays down her life and who listens to God every single day and who shows up day after day and is a vessel for what God has to share with you. So there is no part of me that worries about nextTalk. nextTalk will thrive and go on. I will now be the #1 fan, and I will be listening and watching on YouTube. So like and subscribe, of course. But I just think God's got so much in store for nextTalk, and I can't wait to watch, even if it's from a different angle.
Well, I appreciate you saying all that. I've struggled, as you know. We've been really honest in this transition. And I've literally said to Kim, the podcast may fall apart without you. Like, it may not be worth our time anymore if it plummets. And she's just spoken a lot of truth into me and encouragement. And we're going to try some new formats. We've got some new guests coming on the show. Like, we've got a whole different thing that we're going to try on the podcast, and we'll see how it goes. And you know what? If it doesn't go well, we're still doing events. We still got help desk. We still have a lot of other programs to serve families. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But I think what's been cool in this process is us talking through, you know, like I've said to her before, it's just going to be me and Jesus on the couch. What?
That's the best co-host, though.
But like, that's enough.
Yes. Exactly.
That's enough.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Kim needs to step out and be with Jesus for a minute. And I need to be okay with me and Jesus. Yeah. And
it'll be good. It'll be more than enough.
It's more than enough.
Yeah.
But our human flesh takes over and we're like, well, what if? What if I can't do that? Mm-hmm. Or what if we're making the wrong decision or whatever? And I don't know. It's been cool to walk through this with you as a best friend and a podcast co-host kind of partner thing, as we've seen God reveal this to us.
Yeah. In so many more ways than you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess at this point, what I would ask is for prayers. Prayers for Next Talk, prayers for Mandy, prayers for me as we move forward and do new things and hard things. I know there's going to be a lot of beautiful fruit. So I'm looking forward to it, as hard as it is.
One of the things I want to end with this, if it's okay, I was reading the other day King Solomon in Ecclesiastes, and he talks about in chapter 3, there is a season for everything. He says, for everything there is a season, a time for activity, every activity under heaven. And he lists them out, a time to live, a time to die. There were a couple that just jumped out at me. It said a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to tear down and a time to build up. And this is the one that I broke down when I read it. A time to be quiet and a time to speak. And I just think it's, so wise when we know we need to just be quiet for a minute, be still and know that he is God. You're in a busy season of life. I mean, I remember it. And you have one extra kid than I did.
Having one in each of the grades, high school, middle school, elementary, and a husband, and, volunteering and work and just life. It is a lot. And I really want to get to the end of that race and God say, well done, good and faithful servant, not, well, you limped through, I had more for you, but you were stretched too thin. And so I need to rest for a little while.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what God does.
Well, and we're not God. We don't know what each day brings. We don't know if this is short term, long term, forever. We don't know. What we're saying is every day is we're going to have an act of obedience here.
Yeah. Yes.
And figure it out as we go. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say the end of an era. It's a pause for a moment.
It's a
moment
see you
in
later.
time.
It's a see you later.
It's a different season right now. It's
Yeah.
a different season, and we'll see what the next season brings.
Yeah. Thank you to all the Next Talk families who I have been so blessed to meet and talk with and be a part of your season and a part of your lives. Greatest gift. One of the greatest gifts of life.
Ministry is hard. We talked about this a lot. Our work that we do is hard. We see things, we hear things that we don't want to hear. But there's something so special about it too, that we can see behind the scenes the work that God is doing in families.
Yes.
And we talk about it all the time about the servants at the wedding.
Yes.
They were in the kitchen and they saw the miracle, and the wedding guests didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because they were filling the jars, and we see that behind the scenes a lot, and it's that fruitfulness of what God is doing. And so, Kim, just thank you for being my best friend, and thank you for teaching me how to talk on the radio. You did.
Now you're an expert, so there you go.
Do you remember the first day of the radio show?
I do. It was special. It was real special.
I was like tapping the mic. You're like, please stop putting your mouth on the mic.
You've come so far. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You get
you
the graduation.
Still coach me in the background.
Yeah.
I'm expecting texts from you. If I put a podcast out there that's awful, you better be texting.
It's coming. Me. You're gonna wish you never said that. Thank you. It is. It's been the best.
Love you, girl.
Love you.
This podcast is not intended to replace the advice of a trained healthcare or legal professional or to diagnose, treat, or otherwise render expert advice regarding any type of medical, psychological, or legal problem. Listeners are advised to consult a qualified expert for treatment.